YouTube friends. Thanks for joining in tonight. Man, you know the deal. If you haven't hit that subscribe button right down there, wrap it up on that baby and come on in. That's right, man, because we got a lot of great things going on here at the Audio Master Show. And tonight, man, I was thinking about today. I was thinking about all the cool things, what this show is about, man. If you do not know what this show is about, anything that have to do with recording, mixing, mastering, audio, equipment, microphones, you've joined the right show, man. If it has to do with music, thanks so much for hanging out. Oh man, I'm so pumped tonight, man. So I got to thinking today, it was like, man, who out of all the years, who was my favorite, or who is your favorite rock band of all time? And that is the question, man. What songs still remain in your memory as being the best songs in the world by rock bands? Or hey, look, if you don't like rock music, what group of all time was your favorite group? And so that's good enough, man. If you love music, music is music, and it's in your blood, man. So anyway, I got to thinking of some of my favorite groups today, and it was like, man, golly, the first one that came to my mind was just very, very simple. It was Led Zeppelin. I got to thinking of all the times being on the beach, listening to Led Zeppelin, and how just when I heard Jimmy Page just ripping out those licks and whatnot, I was just, oh God, who is this guy? Who is this guy playing guitar? And Robert Plant singing. It was just phenomenal, the songs that they came out with. So how can you not love them? They were one of my favorite group. So I listened to a lot of the older stuff, and one of those groups, another great group that was one of my favorite group of all time, was The Doors. Oh my gosh, man, if you love rock and roll and you love great lyrics and a wonderful singer, how could you not like Jim Morrison's stuff, man? A little trippy in those times, man, but what a great artist, man. He was just bad to the bone. So those were two of my great rock bands that I like. And then, of course, man, when Van Halen came on the scene, there's another group. How could you not love Van Halen? Eddie Van Halen shows up with his finger tapping style, and everybody was like, what the heck is going on that guitar, man? So I gotta laugh about that, man, because when I heard Van Halen, when I heard Eddie actually play for the first time, I was like, oh man, this guy is just a phenomenal, man. And then here's the thing, man, I was so fortunate enough to see Van Halen play 3 times in Houston, man. So that is another great rock band of all time, one of my favorites. But I really wanted to raise the question to some of you guys tonight. What was some of your favorite bands, and what inspired you, man, to like their music, as well as maybe even they inspired you to become a musician, picking up guitar? I know that whenever I listen to some of those great guitar players like Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix, and all those greats, Randy Rhoads, just I could go on and on and on about some great guitar players. Dimebag Darrell, there was just tons of great guitar players, and there's tons of great guitar players out there today, man. And so when you get a great band together and you get a great guitar player and he has his own cool style, or maybe an amalgamation of many artists, because there were so many now these days to learn from, right? And so man, I'm just waiting for the next greatest rock band of all time to show up on the scene and start performing, because I'm just excited to hear what it's going to be, man. I hope it just rocks the world, and has a vast array of different kind of genres mixed in with rock and roll. And that would be nice to hear, man. Someone who is very versatile as far as style, but can still make it all come together as a band, as a whole, to have a signature to their sound. So, and then we came into the 90s, man, and I want to say the next greatest rock band that I enjoy listening to that had its own sound and signature was a beautiful little band called Nirvana. Everybody can remember Nirvana. They were kind of trippy on the scene when they came out, man, but they just had that sound, didn't they? and great writing skills, kind of a raw edge to them, with very little equipment. It seemed like the drummer came out and his little setup was just this little set, but they did some great music, and so I can go on and on about some of the greatest bands in the world, rock bands and whatnot. But I think of even all the bands in the 60s that I missed out on, that I really didn't get to actually go see in concerts. And there were just some really good bands and a lot of great artists that died in their 20s in that time zone, and it seemed like every time I want to say Jimi Hendrix died when he was either 27 or 28, and Janis Joplin, and there are many more that died in their 20s, coming onto the scene after they got really famous and whatnot. And then I think of the groups and the people that actually passed or died in airplane crashes. Another great one of my favorite groups of all time in high school was listening to the band called Leonard Skinner. Man, I don't know if you guys remember Leonard Skinner, but they had some great songs, Sweet Home Alabama, and just many more great songs. And here's one of those bands that I was talking about the other night that I want to see come together. It's some great musicians come together and throw in their 2 cents and make $1,000,000 with some beautiful writing songs. I think of Leonard Skinner, man. I don't know how many people they had in their band, but it seemed like they had at least 2 or 3 guitar players at one time in their band, and it was just this huge group, and everybody came together and just really made that band such a wonderful killer band to listen to. So I want to see that happen again, and it's just going to be interesting to see what comes out there and what's available for all of us to enjoy. And so, anyway, man, I just wanted to get on here tonight. We have a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. Not a hurricane, but it could turn into a hurricane one. Nothing really heavy duty or anything, but gonna bring a lot of rain, man. And we do not need to be flooded around here. So I was gonna keep it short tonight, but I did want to get on here, and I'm trying to come on again every night at 7 o'clock. And hang out with you guys and just chill out, because it's such a cool thing to hang out with you guys. But I was working on my lighting tonight, had to get that right again, and actually did some other things in here to kind of trick it out. So I hope everything looks good and sounds good for you guys. Hey Caden, what's going on, man? I'm glad you got a chance to pop in tonight. I was running a little bit late today. Just had to take care of some other things. We have a storm out in the Gulf of Mexico, and I wasn't able to get on right away because I was helping my mom out earlier today, and in her little storage building. So anyway, I'm glad you made it. I hope your day's going great today. I was just talking about some of my favorite artists of all time. As far as rock bands go, and just the vast amount of rock music out there, from years ago that was actually put together. One was Leonard Skinner, and I love that band Van Halen, and I can go on and on and on. And I hope you come in later and watch everything. But I did want to ask you, man, did you get a chance to find that video that we were talking about last night by Sylvia Macy, with all the different microphones? Yeah, I know it is a big storm, man. And so anyway, it's going to bring a lot of rain this way, and I hope that I don't get flooded out here, because it seems like every time, even a tropical storm or anything somewhat that drops a lot of rain. Hey man, good to see you too, girl. How you doing, Pamela? I appreciate you dropping in tonight, man. I kind of wanted to raise the question tonight. What are some of y'all's favorite rock bands of all time? Because I really want to see that happen to music. I'd love to see some great rock bands come together again as a band, and not just a lot of single artists. I appreciate single artists, I do, and I'm one of them. But I just love a great band, a great rock band. You know, when people can come together and throw in all their 2 cents and um, to structure and actually make a beautiful rock song. And so I wanted to raise that question tonight, man. I wanted to put that out there and see what some of you guys' favorite y'all's rock bands are. And I'd mentioned earlier Led Zeppelin and The Doors, and those were some of my early kind of groups. But I listened to so many different groups, man. I really can't, Van Halen. There was just some great groups that were in the 80s and the 90s. And if you like pop, Michael Jackson was still around at that time, and he was doing some great songs. And so there was just all kind of great music going on. Anyway. Your bike lights look fabulous. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Pamela. I was, and Caden can vouch for me, man. This has been a struggle for me. I am not the best kind of lighting person and whatnot. And I did watch a lot of tutorials and everything on how to do it. And I still was having trouble getting it right. Placement is everything, just like everything else. Placement and the amount and all this. So anyway, I appreciate you noticing that, because yeah, it was a struggle. And even I was struggling with my audio because I gotta laugh at myself, y'all, because at the time there were times when I was just chewing my fingers off because it was driving me crazy. But anyway, thank you, and I'm so glad I got it going for me. Let's see, you like a lot of bands, honestly. I know, me too. Metallica. Oh yeah, I see Metallica in Houston. They were great. It was like a Texas jam type thing. It was. I'm trying to think of who all jammed. I want to say it was Dokken, Metallica, Van Halen. Who all else was there? Oh gosh, just a Cheap Trick, and a couple more bands. But it was just insane. I love that. And this was back when Metallica kind of first came out. I got the chance to see those guys, man. Pretty pissed about Weezer. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, I know. You see that kind of stuff. It's crazy, the stuff that you see out some of those big events and whatever. And then you see a lot of crazy stuff too in the audience, man. Sometimes it gets kind of wicked out there. Just some people partying, man. They start partying and they don't know when to slow down. They just keep it going, man, and then they end up doing stuff crazy. Did a lot of work with Cheap Trick. Ah, really? Wow, man. You know what? Cheap Trick. I seen Cheap Trick more than just once. It seemed like they did in the late '80s. It seemed like or early, like if '83, '87, somewhere around there. They did a lot of touring at that time with other bands, and kind of, I guess this was the circuit through this area that I live, Houston and Beaumont Lake Charles area. And so they did a lot of touring around the Gulf Coast around that time. And so I seen Cheap Trick a lot, and I want to say Joan Jett, Pat Benatar, just that whole kind of scene thing. They were awesome, man. Those girl chicks could rock it, dude. I love that stuff. It was great. I did a lot of concerts because I was, into music like you guys. And it's a beautiful thing to talk about. I was hearing some old cool stuff. Yeah, you seen Cheap? Oh yeah, I know, they were great, weren't they? And the guitars they had, Cheap Trick, really tricked out guitars. I want to say some of them were Dean guitars. And the guy with the hat that turned his hat kind of sideways, the guitar player, he always had some really cool guitars, right? I don't know his name. I can't think of his name, but he was really good. What was that song? What was that love ballad song that they did, Cheap Trick? It was really, really, really popular. It was a good song too, man. If I could just think of the chorus, then I know the song. Anyway, I don't know. I can't think of it, y'all. Hollow Notes. I know, they were good too, man. Well, if you're a girl, how could you not like that? And they could sing, man, couldn't they sing? They sounded great together, didn't they? Wow, some really great singing together and harmonies and stuff like that. You don't see, I don't know what it is, y'all. You just don't see that kind of stuff anymore, man. Okay. Okay, was what kind of music? That his name doesn't ring a bell to me. Was what name a song that was real popular by him? Hmm. Anyway, uh, I did like in the '60s when it was that folk stuff. I think I listened to Simon and Garfunkel. I listened to you know all that. Yes, old music was the best. I know it really was. The songwriting was so good in the older music, especially that folk music. Simon and Garfunkel and all the cool songs. I mean, how many songs did they write? That'd be interesting to know how many, and then how many hits did they actually have at the time? Night Out. Okay, yes, I remember that song. Yeah, I know. And then even like around, I don't know, from 82, 83, 84, 85, even around 87, when all your hair bands were really, really popular. Believe it or not, I had a lot of hair. I wasn't like that, but I was in a band back then, and my hair was more kind of cut around the length of Rod Stewart's hair. It was longer, and I had a lot of hair and could do that back then. But I think of those hair bands that had the really, really long hair and teased all the way out. Um, just some really, really cool stuff. I don't know. There were some great, great bands though in the '60s, and man, wouldn't that have been cool to like be at Woodstock or see some of those other cool places like that, or I don't know. I don't know. I think my era was a really cool era to grow up. Just I really had a lot of fun, and it was just I hear these old songs, y'all, and it really takes me back. Back in the day, whenever we would do things and have fond memories. Yeah, you'd rock it, huh? Yeah, I did rock it. I seriously had a lot of hair, and my best friend, who was also the bass player in the band, was a hairdresser. So I remember him graduating and going off to hair school, and all the dudes just really gave him a hard time. But he was really, really an artistic guy. In fact, he painted that painting right there for me years ago, and just I wouldn't say eccentric, but just very creative. And and I was always an encouraging man. Go get your hair license. Go do it. And he opened many salons and one in Houston, and doing great. Oh, thank you so much. You know what? That was well, you're welcome, and thank you for saying that. That was very nice and cool. To hear that. I when you're doing stuff live, and when y'all do stuff live, and there's no fixing, because y'all know that these great bands that we love, we hear the finished polished product, right? We hear the studio version a lot of times. Now when you're in a live venue and everything, you can get away with a lot of stuff when there's a lot of loud music and you have people talking and hollering. You can get away a lot with messing up and all the other everything. But when you're listening to a song from a CD or the radio, it has to be perfect. You hear everything, right? And so going that direction, in the studio, we hear all that. And so when you're doing something live, like just like what I did on a single cut, you can jack it up. You can do. Let's see. I'm trying to read what you're saying. Mm, yeah, yeah, I did. That song really. Now that we're talking about that song really could use a cool little bridge in it somewhere. Maybe even like a country line, two line bridge, just something to break it up for a moment, and then bring you back home to the course out or whatever. But it was just a feeling and a vibe, and I really wanted to show you guys that when you're in a hurry or whatever, you can do a lot with very little microphones, and it's really about placement and everything, finding the right placement, and then listening. Do I have a good mix going on? And then hoping that you guys hear what I hear. Let's see what you're saying. I respect live music. It takes courage to write and sing live. It does. I know, and live is really raw, and live music is really cool when you're hearing it raw like that, and it's like, you don't mind the mess ups, and everything doesn't have to be perfect because it's real, But throw in some slide guitar for a bridge, yeah, that'd be really cool, wouldn't it? I know. Um, that song is in the open G, and I'm playing it on my Taylor guitar. Y'all know that. But I used to have a beautiful Guild 12-string guitar that I bought for $100. This guy broke the neck right at the bend on that 12 string, and all those strings on that 12 string really puts a lot of pressure. So it broke right in the neck area, and he sold it to me for $100, and it was a beautiful Guild like Neil Young plays on. And I was like, oh man. And he says, look, if you can't fix it, I'll give you your $100. But how can you go wrong with that, right? So I took it to the guitar place, and they put two dowels in it like this with wood glue, and they were able to fix my guitar, man. And I loved that guitar. It sounded really great. Um, let's see. And so, anyway, I'd like to do some stuff. I'd like to get me another 12 string and start writing on that. I really love the way a 12 string sounds. It just has a beautiful, all these different harmonics over each other, and it resonates. It sounds really good when you record it, especially if you mic it. So, I don't know. I've been wanting to get in here. I've got some other stuff. I don't know if you know Pamela, but I did some footage the other night of this new song that I've got it down. And here's what's kind of cool: when you get to writing your song and you figure out what lyrics you want and everything's whether it's he, she, or I, or whatever. Once you figure all that out and you get everything right, corrected, that'd be awesome. I know the 12 string. I know it is. They're beautiful. I love them. But anyway, once you get all your song figured out, right, then you can kind of play around with it and figure out you can sing it one way, and then you can sing it another way, and you can sing it all these different variations ways. How you feel at the moment, where you're just however you feel. It always kind of comes out different. And so after I had played the song, recorded the song, just a real quick record thing. Listen back. I said, so I started trying different ways to sing it differently, and sometimes you can get caught up in that and then say, okay. So anyway, I don't know where I'm really going with this, but I did that, and it was fun. And so it's gonna be interesting to see my camera guy. He came over. We did some really cool stuff of me playing, and the lighting is really, really cool. We did it with the lighting in here. Check this out. Oh wow. Is that on? Yeah, I don't guess it was on. I don't know. It was working. It was working earlier. But anyway, we did some cool lighting. We had some cool lighting going on in here. He did some great footage, and that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And so now what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to go back in the DAW, and I am going to put a click track down, play it, and then do a bunch of overdubbing on it, and then come back and then edit the video to the audio. And we're going to do it the right way, so to speak, and so that's going to be fun. Anyway, I wish I had a 12 string to play on that. I would definitely play to this cool song. This new song that I wrote, I will say, when I first started playing it on the piano, I was like, man, I could hear it like an orchestra back in the song. Like, you remember that song, and I talked about it the other night. You remember that song by Guns N' Roses, November Rain? Anyway, there was this great orchestra in the piece, and it just sounded to die for. So when I was writing the song, I was hearing that. I was hearing just, cellos and violins and French horn, just this huge sound, you know? And I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to put it together the way I hear it, but I'm just going to basically just probably put down a piano track, maybe a bass track, and vocals and harmonies. So I am going to have a lady friend come in and do some harmonies, and that's going to be fun. It's always great to do some great vocals and man and woman together like that. I think of those songs that like Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton did. Maybe he would sing a couple lines and she'd sing a line. Wouldn't it be great to hear another song like that? A really good song. Anyway, that's a lot of fun in the studio, man. You can do so much in the studio. You have so many more tools to work with, and that's what really makes it fun, is when you have all these cool tools that you can do great things even before you go in. So you might find these great settings with delays or whatever, and I know, classic. So you can find some great sounds, and I like to do that when I'm recording, y'all. I really like to find the sound that I like before I even go to tape or your DAW or whatever, because I know if it sounds good in my ears or before it gets there, then hopefully I got a good chance, and then I can kind of hear everything, the whole package, as it's brought together, and you have more control when it's all in the DAW. You can add more delay, or you can even do by the tempo of the song, add delays by the tempo of the song, and thicken things up. It's just crazy, insane, all the cool stuff that you can do in the recording studio to make it sound right, make it sound perfect. I know, man, it's a great thing. If you love that kind of stuff, if you love writing music and you love being in the studio and you just love being around this kind of stuff, and that's always on your mind to be thankful to be a part of, then you're going to get in there and you're going to work, and you're going to at least pick up your instrument as much as you can when you can. I've been trying to learn the piano here lately, and I wouldn't say that I'm really learning anything new, but it's definitely brought a new perspective to my writing skills as far as what I hear whenever I play the piano. It's kind of really neat. It's brought on a different kind of a vibe for me and inspiration to write. And so anyway, when you do one thing excessive, you can kind of lack another, and I haven't been playing my guitar that much. So that's when I broke out my guitar, and my nephew actually said, man, why don't you play your guitar, and why don't you write a song tonight? And that song that I played for you guys was pretty much just whammed together really quick. And that's funny how I can come across a melody or just a few little chord patterns or whatever, and really quick, and make it fun, without all this effort, just a vibe, how you feel. And so anyway, I've got my Ibanez right here, Pamela, and I was showing last night my Ibanez to everyone, and it has a broken string on it, which it really isn't broken, it just kind of came out. But I love this guitar right here. It has a flat neck on it, and I would say it's a woodshedder type guitar, but it has 3 pickups, and it has 2 humbucker pickups, one on the neck for some great chords and whatnot, and then one in the back, and then one single coil in the center. So you can kind of get that Strat sound if you want to, but it has a flat neck, and I love playing my guitars with a flat neck. That was the type of guitars that I learned on, and so it just feels like when I'm playing, especially my runs or whatever, my hands don't come off the top of the neck or slide off. So I'm gonna show it to you. I showed it. Hang on a second. So this it's only like a $400 guitar, y'all. But I thought, what the heck, I'd try it out and just see if it was worth it. And but it's a Ibanez Gem. I'll show it to you. So I thought, if it had a nice neck, because that's what really matters to me, the neck on the guitar. If it has a nice neck and it feels good on my fingers, right? Then I can change the pickups out. The pickups, you can buy them all day long for a bill for $100. I know it is beautiful. Thank you. And why wouldn't I not want to play on an Ibanez? Steve Vai plays on an Ibanez and he can shred. So um, anyway, if it had the same neck and had the same feel, then I could change the pickups out, right? That's not a big deal. Or the tremolo, if it needed to be changed, I can change that too. That's not a big deal. So I could put a few extra $100 in it, 500 or whatever, and make this a pretty, really rad guitar. Thank you, Caden. I appreciate it, man. So, I mean, I could put 5 bills in it and make it a screamer like Steve's, but this is what I was thinking. Why not just buy it and try it out? So I bought it and started playing it, and I was like, you know what, man? It sounds great just like it is. I don't need to do anything to alter it. I don't use much of the whammy bar. I mean, but when I do, it doesn't go out of tune. It has these locking nuts right here on it, on the neck. See if I can get it around here. Oh, I didn't want to do that. See, it has these locking nuts. And after you get it in tune, then you lock down on those, and then fine tune the guitar back here on the back. Let me show you in case you don't know. It's got these little bitty screws things like right here over the bridge, and you just tighten it down to go more sharper, and then loosen to go flat. So anyway, that's how these guitars are tuned, and I love this guitar, man. When I play this guitar, I just want to go back to those rock days, those 80 days. It makes me play all those cool 1/5 bar chords. So anyway, that's a lot of fun, and it's a guitar, any instrument. If you love guitar, if you love music, it's just it's in your blood. You're never going to put it down. You're going to continue to want to learn and learn more, and just what a lifetime love, right, you guys? It really is a lifetime love. I've certainly, it's been I'm grateful, right? I'm very thankful that I never, all the work that I've done outside with my hands, because y'all know I did landscaping for years, and I also draw. So I draw beautiful landscape designs, and out of all the years, y'all, man, I never jacked up my fingers or my hands, so I can still, even if I don't play guitar for a couple weeks, I can get slow and kind of stagnant. But after a week of playing, or 8 or 9 days, I can build calluses up on my guitar, on my fingers, real easy again. And just it's kind of like riding a bike. You just get faster and faster. So anyway, yes, music is beautiful. Thank you, Caden. I appreciate that, man. I love this guitar too. It's really been nice. You guys. I don't know. So what kind of music do you enjoy, Pamela? What kind of music do you play? What do you like to do? Really, all kind of music is a beautiful thing. You know, I don't know. You have to be very artistic to write some good songs anyway. So I don't know. So maybe I'll grab my Ibanez out, you guys, and start doing some stuff with it. Put some new strings on it, and just, I don't know, maybe just start working on my scales and running through some of my blues scales and all my pentatonics, major and minor pentatonics, and then on some of my runs up and down the neck, and then even arpeggios within the chord structure. So all that kind of cool stuff is cool. You know what I like to do too, though, y'all, is to put down an acoustic guitar part first, and then come back over the track second, way even before I sing anything to the song. So sometimes I'll write like this. I'll put down a cool rhythm on a guitar, okay, and at least have a verse chorus part, and then I'll come back on my DAW with a guitar part, and then add all these cool little intricate articulation, finger picking on the guitar behind it, and then maybe even an area in that song before it's over. Maybe after the first chorus, go ahead and throw in a lead guitar or whatever, or some lead guitar. And it can be simple little one string lead lines like Nirvana. They did tons of simple little stuff like that. I never really got it at first. It was like I grew up listening to Jimmy Page leads, and I would say probably at least 20-second leads minimal that they did on all those songs in the 80s and before, and then went to listen to some of the 90s lead guitar, and it was just simple one string up the neck, real simple stuff. But sometimes simplicity is the best, right? Oh, okay, wow, that's interesting. Yeah, meditation music. You know what I've been doing, you guys? Man, it's really been helping my sleep out tons. So I've been listening to you can go on YouTube and just type in, I don't know, meditation sleep or something like that. And so I've been listening to Thunder and Rain with a dark screen. That's the one I'm watching. And man, it's just my sleep has just really gotten great doing that. I never would have thought. I used to have a fan that would would listen to and go to sleep to a fan in the room, and that was great. I did that for a while, but I'm really getting some good sleep. Not even waking up. Like I'll sleep all the way through the night, and then get up by listening to that. Just thunder. You can hear it in the background. Sounds like the rain's hitting on the tin roof. And what's kind of cool about it, I've got my TV. So in my master bedroom, I was telling Caden last night, I took. So here's a room right here. Adjacent to me is my kitchen. Then you go through another bedroom, and then there was a door going into another bedroom, and then another bedroom, and the bathroom's kind of on the side over here. And so what I did when I moved in this place was I busted out that second wall and made my master bedroom one huge master bedroom. And and then adjacent to that, I'm going to make one huge master bathroom. In the bathroom now, I'm going to make it a large walk-in closet for myself. But anyway, this house is probably, if I had to guess, y'all, is 65 years old. It's on piers. I don't think I'll flood from the storm, but I want to say that when we had Melda a few years ago, I just moved into this place and water rose up all the way to the porch. It's like, oh my gosh. Couldn't believe it. I thought I was going to have to start putting stuff up and stacking stuff in here. I didn't want any of my studio equipment to get wrecked. But we've done a lot of improvements, and so I put in some good drains here, and hopefully I won't run into that problem, y'all. No flooding. We don't want any flooding, So anyway, I started listening to that meditation, the thunder and the rain, and it's just really improved my sleep. And man, when you get good sleep or when you don't get good sleep, it's hard. It's hard on you the next day, man. You can't focus, you can't think straight, and your mind just wanders, and you kind of often wonder, are you just in a daze, So having sleep is important, man. Having good sleep. So anyway, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. As always, I appreciate it here at the Audio Master Show. If there's anything you guys would like to talk about, let me know. I would really like to go over some great things with you guys and hang out and just hear what you guys would like to talk about sometimes, It's easy for me to talk about audio and music and all kind of cool things, but I really kind of want to know what you guys like to talk about. and what's going on in your guys, what's going on with you guys too as well. So, anyway, I thank you as always here at the Audio Master Show. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't hit the subscribe bell, please do right down there. Also, ring that bell, and also hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. Hit the like button too, and we will see you later.